All right, I'm here at 5142 Enniskillen Ct in Suwannee, and I figured I'd fly my drone up here. I thought it'd be just an easier way to look at this entire roof. There's a roofing company here. I believe it's who advised them to file the claim, and he wanted to go up and mark a few things for us to look at, and we'll definitely look at those, but I figured I would just do my inspection from here. It'd be a lot easier. We'd all be on the same page. So when I'm looking at a roof claim, trying to advise them as to whether there's covered peril here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the metal. All right, and that's the same thing an insurance adjuster is going to do, because if the hail is not big enough to dent the metal, it would not be big enough to damage the roof. So if we zoom in down here, the top of a chimney cap's a good place to look, because you know, if the hail dented the metal on the top of a chimney cap, likelihood that you've got roof damage is pretty good. So as I zoom in here just to take a look at this, I don't see any dents right there in that. Now that could be a heavier gauge metal, just like this chimney chase right here. The shroud on the chimney is a heavier gauge metal. So, you know, I don't want to use that as the only source. I'll also go over and look at the HVAC caps and any other metal that's on the roof. So if I come down here a little closer to the furnace caps, let's see if I can get in down here a little closer. All right, I'll zoom in on this thing here. In my opinion, I'm not seeing much there that I would probably say is from hail. There's some spots where the chalk has outlined, like he's chalking these vents right here, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do. But you know, usually you're going to see these localized round dents in metal, and I just want to get down and give this thing a really good fair look here, see if I can keep from crashing this drone. But all right, there we go, a little better look. So you know, I'm just not seeing that there's some slight evidence that there's some dents on that thing, but I'm not seeing really good dents on it of what I would really like to see. There's another one right over here. We'll go look at this one now. See if any of this stuff should have dents. This one should. All right, it's right up, it's sticking above the ridge line here. It's right out here and exposed. Let's see what we can find on this guy. Sorry, I'm blowing it here. The wind's blowing a little bit, and I'm not getting a excellent flight out of this thing. Let me get a little over it here, and we'll zoom right down on it. So it looks like that there's some evidence that hail probably hit this roof. In my opinion, though, it must have been small hail if you look at the size of these dents. Those dents are maybe a 1/4 inch across. And if you look anything online, or you can look at any sources that you'd like to kind of figure out the size of hail that it takes to injure a shingle, usually the consensus is it's going to take about 1 inch or bigger hail to do any kind of damage. That being said, though, let's just take a look at the shingles. I want to look at some of the things that this gentleman marked. He could definitely be right, and I could definitely be wrong. All right, just zooming in here to that spot there specifically. All right, so that's one that he circled. Let's go ahead and look at some of the others as well. Make sure we get a good sample. Here's a couple together. We should be able to get a good look here. There's 3 in a row right there. All right, my flight is not working out real doggone good for me today. I think I've got one of my propellers. I actually scraped a tree with it yesterday, so that can be an issue. But let me zoom in here and see what we're looking at. And listen, one thing I want to make sure that everybody's clear on is that I in no way represent Allstate or the insurance agent or anybody involved in the claim. I just come out and basically give my opinion as to whether I feel like that it can be approved. And it's just, more opinions on that are better than less, right? I mean, that's what we're really trying to come up with here is, should this go through insurance? Does the roof need to be replaced? And, is it something that we need to file a claim for? Let me back off here and see if I see any other spots that he might have circled. Make sure we give this thing a really good fair look and get a good sample size. Hail falls like rain, right? So it doesn't fall in any specific pattern. It doesn't fall in any specific, it doesn't just drop a piece here and there. It covers like rain when it falls. So what you should find is, if what you're looking at on a roof, when you find these little anomalies and little things that just don't seem right, you should be able to find that it's pretty widespread. And that just like rain, it affected a big surface area. So what I usually like to do is to just get a good sweeping view of a big area. So back off here a little bit and do that and get a good view of just a nice big area on the front and on the back. And we're all looking at the same thing right here, so I'll just save the commentation for when I see something we should talk about here. But we'll get a good sample of just looking at the whole roof and seeing a lot of different areas. What you're looking for is you want to see localized spots on the shingle where it looks like the granules have been compromised, either pressed down into the mat of the shingle or missing altogether. And that's what we want to find. You should be able to find that pretty widespread across the whole roof, right? Because as I was saying, the hail falls and comes down like rain. So what you do find, though, is you end up finding things like this right here, that if you look at that individually, you could deduce, hey, maybe that's from hail, right? But if that was from hail, it would be all over the roof. It's more than likely that is just some sort of mechanical damage from when the roof was being installed. Now, what we're hearing right now is my warning to let me know that my battery's starting to get low. So ignore that for a moment. We'll just kind of keep looking here for just a little while longer. I want to give this thing a good fair shake. So, so far we looked at a pretty good sample of this roof, and I don't want to speak in absolutes, but I want to give my opinion. And in my opinion, I don't know if there's enough here for the insurance company to be able to approve it. Now, another thing that we look at, we've got a big section of metal right here. So if there was hail damage on this thing, it would have dented this roof right here that's made of metal. Now, it'd take a little bit bigger hail to be able to dent this. I'll admit that for sure. But the kind of hail that it would take to dent this resilient of a shingle would dent this kind of metal. So let's turn around this way. We'll take a closer look at this metal roof right here. See if we see any dents. We'll drop down on this a little closer. And this faces the south right here. So this would have been damaged for sure. As I zoom in on this thing, I'm not really seeing dents in that metal. I know that is annoying to listen to. I really apologize about that. But I also know you guys are wanting to get a good call on this, make sure we take it the right route. So from what I'm seeing, I just don't see there's enough there to say with any certainty whether it would be approved. That being said, it's not my call. That's a decision for the contractor that's involved, as well as the insurance agent. If you guys want to take it that route, that's completely up to you guys. But this is Casey Beaver. I'm with ARAC Roof It Forward. Thank you very much.